Well, thank God I decided to check. All right. Okay, I already explained name ranges yesterday, so we're going to the data cleaning today. All right, so what do you understand by data cleansing or cleaning as you want to call it? Just like the name implies, is quite simple. If I say if you say you're cleaning the house, what are you doing? You are removing debts in your house, trying to wipe out what's no more maybe it's what's not of use, what you don't need, or something, let's say biscuit nylon and the likes, that the unwanted, in short, the unwanted stuffs you don't want in your house. That's all you do. That's all you clean out when you say you're cleaning your house. The same thing with data. Now, data cleaning is we remove what we don't need, the unwanted object inside our data set. The things you don't need for your analysis, they are irrelevant. Those are the stuff you remove in your data set. That's called data cleaning. In other words, or in simpler words, data cleaning or cleansing is the removal of unwanted objects in your data set. So now the question is, in your home now, you already know the unwanted object, dust, and the stuff that litters the house. Good. But in data, what are the things that are unwanted? Uh, we have excess spaces, we have non-printable characters. I'm going to explain all these things, of course. Non-printable characters. There are some values that are seen as there are numbers that are seen as text, whereas they are numbers. Okay, another thing is what brings these unwanted objects to our data set? The extra spacing. What I mean extra spacing, I mean, normally, if you look at this data cleansing, you only have a space between it, right? Between data and cleansing. By the time you start having two or more, that means you're beginning to have extra spacing. Extra spacing means any other spacing that you have that is more than one. Others are extra. And of course, they are not right, which means you have to remove extra spacing. That's what I mean by extra spacing. So how does this extra, all these unwanted objects, where did they come from? How come? Is it that where they are inputting the data or something? Also, empty cells. Maybe when they are inputting the data, you might, let's say I want to collect this class data. I wanted to type Bukola. I typed because B is close to V. I typed Bukola or something. I might decide, oh, definitely I have to change the V to B. These are part of what we clean. Another way whereby this unwanted object comes in place is, now, oftentimes they come from different applications. Like when you import a particular data set or extract a data set from a software and open it with another software, oftentimes from the software you brought them from, they will come with unwanted stuffs inside the new software. This is what I'm trying to say. There are times whereby okay, let me use this as an example. Sometimes if you want to print a file and you want to send it to whoever is going to print it, sometimes they advise you to send it as PDF. Why they tell you that is because by the time they open, if you send it as Word, by the time they open it with their own system will change some formats. It is then what please let's everybody mute their mics. Whatsoever is being well arranged before, by the time they open it to their system, it's going to be distorted. So that's the kind of something we are looking at now. So when you import something like a data set from another software, and you import it, let's say for instance, inside Excel, it might come with additional jargons you don't need that will not be readable by Excel. In fact, sometimes even word to word, if you use your system to type some stuff and you open it with the word on your phone or WPS file, you will see that sometimes it won't be well arranged because you already opened it with another software. So most of these unwanted objects we clean is because of the softwares the data set is being extracted from. I hope you're getting me. All right, so okay, I said we need to clean our data to remove unwanted objects and put it in the right structure. I already explained that. Why do you need to remove unwanted objects? So as to make your analysis smooth and clean. You will see more reason to that later on. So please, everybody, mute your mics, please. Olaiya Damilola, please mute your mic. Okay, someone's hand is raised. Okay, Olaiya Damilola, your hand is raised. Do you have any question? Or is it a mistake? All right, I guess it's a mistake. Sorry for that. So I was saying, now we have different functions we use to clean data sets in Excel. Different functions. The first function we're going to be looking at is the clean function. Now, earlier I said something about non-readable characters. Now, the clean function is a function in Excel that we use to remove non-readable or let me say unreadable or non-printable characters. The clean function is used to remove non-printable characters from a text. What do we mean by non-printable characters? I'm going to show us a typical example soon. But non-printable characters are characters that, like I already explained, they come from another software. Let me quickly show us what I mean. Now, if you look at this, I'm sure you can see my cursor. If you look at this place, you will see this Panthera whatsoever. There's a symbol between Panthera and Tigris. That symbol is non-printable. Non-printable characters are just symbols that they are not needed where they are found. Within your text, they are not needed at all. See this musical symbol here. It's not needed within these names. So their non-printable characters are often symbols that they are not needed at all in your text. They are not meant to be there.
I thought you were want to turn your phone in.
Please mute your mics.
Anyway, you sit outside. That is checked on the
We stay outside.
Anywhere there.
I think they don't know how. Could you just mute them?
I've been trying to do that. I just have to remove her. I've been trying to do that from here. It's not working. I don't know why. It's not. I don't think it's a fact of she does not know how to do it. She's not even, because with the whole discussion, she's not paying attention and whatsoever. She couldn't even hear what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So anyway, let's continue our discussion. So those are the non-printable characters. They are symbols that, in fact, you don't need anybody to tell you. By the time you see it, it's just like saying, okay, then let me give an example that I was going to. So when you see those symbols, you will always recognize them. You will know that, oh, this thing is not meant to be here. This thing is not meant to be here. So those are non-printable characters. So it says that the clean function looks at a value in a cell and removes non-printable characters, yes. Uses an application, cleaning large data sets, yes. Removing extra characters that are unwanted in specific cells or range of cells. So whatever character it is that you know is not needed in that text, you can use clean function to remove it. Syntax, that is how it's being written. This is clean into bracket text. The text is exactly what you want to clean. You say value you want specific character removed from, yes. Tips and tricks can be nested with other cleansing formulas. Now, what's nesting? What does that nested mean? What is nesting? Please write it down. I'm going to ask us later. Nesting simply means combining two or more functions in a particular formula. Combining two or more functions in a particular formula, that's what we call nesting. Nesting means when you combine two or more functions in a particular formula, e.g., I don't want to use value as an example because I'm not explaining. I've not explained string. That's why I don't want to use it. But when I make two or more functions, just for an example, I'm not saying it's going to work. Let's say average and maximum, for instance. There are two different functions. Now, if there's any way, which is not even going to happen, that I get to use it in a formula, that's called nesting. Don't get me wrong, it can't work like that. I'm just using it to explain because there are two different functions. So using two or more functions in a particular formula is called nesting. So we can combine two or more clean functions together. That's what we're trying to say. Trim is another clean function, value is another clean function, which I'm going to. Sorry, trim is another function that we use to clean our data set. Value is also another function that we use to clean our data set, which I'm going to explain later on. So we can combine two or more functions together to clean a particular text. So it says the clean in Excel is used to pre-process data that is imported from other applications. Good. I mentioned this earlier. That is imported from other applications and contains characters that are non-printable or readable with the current application. Imported data from databases, text files, or web pages usually contain such characters. These characters may lead to an error, definitely, especially when you have these characters in between your numbers. You always have errors. So it may lead to an error when given as inputs to some functions. Before analyzing such imported data, it needs to be cleaned. Just like what I said, before you can start analyzing your data, you need to clean your data set. All right, so the next function is the trim function. Or before I move to the trim function, do we understand the clean function? Or please, okay, thank you. In case you don't understand anything at any point in time, just call my attention to it by raising up your hand. All right, I said the next function is the trim function. So the trim function, I mentioned excess spacing the other time. So the trim function is used to remove excess spacing in your data set or your text. Let me say your text. Okay, Pelumi Adebayo, you have something to say?
Yes, sir. Sir, please, the clean functions, is it cleaning based on column or the whole data set? Clean and align the whole data set or just column by column?
No, you can also reference. You see, remember how you're referencing. So you can clean a particular text and apply it to the entire column.
Okay.
So,
okay.
yes. So
Thank you.
yeah. So that's why we said here that's why it's been written here, cleaning large data sets. So you can clean large data sets at the same time. All right, so the trim function is used to remove excess spacing. Now, don't forget, oftentimes people get to mix this up. Trim function is not used to remove spaces, but excess spacing, which means any space that is more than one, it's to remove everything except one. It will leave one behind. That's what the trim function does. So it says the trim function removes all spaces from a string. Now look at what is in the bracket, with the exception of single spaces between words. So it will always leave a particular space behind. Uses and applications, we use string on text that you have received from another application that may have regular spacing. I already explained that earlier. Most of these irregularities that we're cleaning is based on we extracting data set from different application softwares. They always come with unnecessary stuff we don't want. So the syntax is string. Tips and tricks, it can be nested with other cleansing formula. Yes, okay, I've explained clean, so this will make sense now. So I can combine my clean function with string function at the same time. if there's a particular text that has excess spacing and also have non-printable characters, I can apply the two formulas at the same time. I'm going to practicalize that. So let's look at this. This is the initial data set we have. You can see the spaces between many and spaces, even more space. You can see them. So by the time you apply your trim function, you see they removed all other spaces except one. Except one. So that's what I was trying to explain last time. Extra spaces are replaced with one space, yes. Leading and trailing spaces are also removed. Trim with clean to remove line breaks and spaces at the same time. I think I explained this earlier. You can use your trim and clean to remove both non-readable and extra spaces at the same time. All right, so the next function is the substitute function. Substitute function. So just like the name implies, it's used to substitute. Those of us that watch football, when they say they want to substitute, that means they want to remove number 9 and put number 10 or something. So you are removing someone and putting another person. That's substitute. So I made an example the other time. I said, let's say I want to type Bukola, and I mistakenly click on V instead of B. Now, what I'm going to use to remove the V and put B is substitute function. So substitute function substitutes new text for old text in the text string. So with the example I just gave us, Bukola, I typed V, Bukola instead of Bukola. The new text is what? B. The old text I want to remove is V. So substitute function substitute new text for old text in a text string. Uses an application, use substitute when you want to replace specific text in a text string. It's not only alphabet you can remove. Let's say, for instance, now, maybe Bukola was occupying a row, so I had to input inside my data set. But now it's maybe Bukola. Let's say Bukola has been promoted to another row, yes. So I have another person occupying the row. Let's say the name of the person is Damilola. I can substitute Bukola for Damilola. So you can substitute a whole text. You can substitute characters. It's not only letters, you can substitute characters, text, numbers, whatever it is you want to substitute. You can substitute anything with anything. So it says here substitutes text or reference to text you want to substitute characters, text you want to replace. Yes, substitute, of course, we know substitute means to replace. The text you want to replace, old text to it, specifies with instance. Okay. Substitute function also come with instance. If you look at this way, you see instance. I'm going to explain that later. Now, tips and tricks. Use quotes around text strings. Now, everybody, please note this. Note it down. Anytime you are typing a text or string, text is also referred to as string. When I mean text, that means whatever all these are text, substitutes, functions, combination of alphabets. Yes, those are texts. So anytime you want to type texts inside a formula, make sure you always put them in double quotation. Make sure they're always in double quotes. If you remember your if function, let's say you want to, for your value, if false and value, you remember that you always put them in double quotation. Anytime you want to type a text of string inside a formula, always put them in double quotation. So the same thing with substitute. All those your new tests, old tests, they have to be in double quotation. Please note it, because they are text strings. The only condition whereby you don't use double quotes is if what you want to substitute is a number. You know, number is not a text. If what you want to substitute is a number, that's when you can decide not to use your double quotation. But if it's a text, you have to put them in double quotes. Now, let's look at this typical example. Now, these are the inputs. We have tutu, we have tutu, cat, blah, blah, blah. So now let's look at this. If you look at the first output for this tutu or tutu, you see that all the t's are being substituted to b. Now, in this case now, c was being substituted for b, all the t's present. All you just have to do is use your substitute function. The first thing is text. That is, you select the test. This is the test. B6 is the test. The next is your old test. Your old test is what you want to remove or substitute. You want to substitute, or what you want to replace. You want to replace T. So your old test is going to be T. If you look at it, you see that T is in double quotation, right? I want to substitute it with what? With B. So my new test is going to be B. Now you will discover something. The instance is not used. That's because I want to substitute all the T's inside T2 or T2. All the T's I want to substitute with B. So I have no use for instance. But now look at the second example. Only the first T was being substituted. So you use instance when you have more than one text that you want to replace. I have 3 T's. I want to replace just one. So if you look at it, it's the same substitute, B7, old test is still T, new test is P. But what instance of T do I want to replace? The first T. Assuming it's the second T I want to replace, the instance will be what? It will be 2. Assuming it's the third T I want to replace, the instance will be 3. So in cases whereby you have repetition of your test that you want to replace, you put an instance of which of the tests exactly you want to replace. Now let's look at the third example. The third example is trying to tell us that the substitute function is case sensitive. Now if you look at this, you have cat with capital C and we have cat with small c. So I've substituted the cat with the smaller c with dog. You see that the one with the bigger c remain. So substitute is case sensitive. Substitute is case sensitive. Let's note it down. So another thing you can use substitutes for is, I said substitute is used to replace. You can also use it to remove something. That's the case of this hash. You see, we have this hash sign before and after the hash. So how do you use your substitute to remove? You replace with nothing, not with space, because space is a character. You replace it with nothing. Now let's look at the function. We have substitute. You select the test. Your old test is the hash sign. While your new test is nothing. So you put nothing inside the bracket, inside the quotation. Don't put space, or space is a character. If I put space, space is a character, so space is going to be recognized. So I will just put double quotes with nothing in between. That's how you replace a character or a text using substitute function. Do you have any question? Or you can just raise up your hand if you feel confused. All right, so the next function we're going to be looking at is the value function. All right, the next function we're going to be looking at is the value function. Now it says that the value function converts a text string that represents a number into a number. And then what does that mean? Now there are some numbers. There are numbers but Excel won't see them as numbers. There are different reasons why Excel will see them as numbers. The number one reason is the data type. If your data type is in something outside general or numbers, Excel will not see them as numbers. Now, how do you now know, okay, Excel is not seeing them as numbers? Because obviously you see 20. Normally you should know is a number. Now these are, let me quickly display this. Everybody, let's look at this. Now let's say I type this number like this, 200. Now when your number is at the right hand side of the cell, like you have here, it means Excel is seeing it as a number. But by the time you have it at the left hand side, what else can I use? Let's say I put but by the time you have it at the left hand side like this, it means Excel is not seeing it as a number any longer. So please note that. That's how you know. And the thing is, if Excel is not seeing your numbers as numbers, if it's not seeing your value as a number, you won't be able to perform any arithmetic function on that number. Calculate your sum, it will never work. It won't work. So you have to note it. When you start seeing your set of numbers at the left hand side, know that Excel is not seeing them as numbers. I was giving us examples of why. The first thing is if your data type is different. Now the data type example I gave, let's say for instance, this is in general, right? If it's a number, it will still be here. But let's say I change it to something like, let's say date. Oh, okay, then let me go into this aspect yet. Then let me go into this aspect here. That's another aspect of value function, but I don't want to go there yet. So another case whereby your numbers are not seen as numbers is when you have a text, just like I gave you now. Not like the other example I gave. When you have a text, or in fact not just text, when you have any character in your that is with a number, Excel will not see them as numbers because you have extra characters that they are not numbers. So are we getting it now? So when you have extra characters with it, it might be exclamation mark. When you have extra characters with them, they will not be seen as numbers. And when they have non-printable characters too, they will not be seen as numbers. So that's what we mean by the definition give earlier. All right. So the value function converts a text string that represents a number into a number. So in that case, what do we now do? We use value function to convert such text string that they are not seen as numbers, whereas they are numbers. So we use value function to change them to numbers. The text enclosed in a quotation marks or reference to a cell containing the text you want to convert, yes. Text can be in any of the constant number, date, or time formats recognized by Microsoft Excel. So also, dates can be represented in numbers. Hope you know that. Time can be represented in numbers. Sometimes when these military people, sometimes when they communicate their sometimes when they are speaking, when they are saying time, or they communicate it to themselves, they use some numbers that you won't know they're talking about dates. Yes, something like that. So you can convert your dates to numbers, you can convert your time to numbers. I'm going to show us that later. So you can now use your value function to convert your dates to numbers, convert your time to numbers, or whatever it is. So in short, value function is used to convert stuffs to numbers, different stuffs to numbers. So tips and tricks, generally, you do not need to use the value function in a formula because Excel automatically converts text to numbers as necessary. So oftentimes when you import your data set into Excel will automatically convert those that are meant to be converted to numbers. But still, there are some that Excel will not be able to convert themselves, which is why you need to convert them yourself to numbers. So now look at this. You have, I was saying data type the other time. This data type currency, this data type time, this is date. So you can convert these guys to numbers using value function. If I say 0.5 now, if you ask me for time and I say 0.5, you won't understand what I'm saying. Whereas I'm saying 12 o'clock. So if you look at this date, this also can be converted to numbers using value function. How can you now convert it back to date? You change the data type to what? To date. So that's value function. Before we go into the practical aspect of it, because we are still going to practicalize everything I've explained, do you have any question? or you just wait till when you particularize it so you can understand it better? All right, I don't think there's any question. So everybody open your basic functions and data cleansing practice file. Basic function and data cleansing practice. It's the same file we used yesterday. So just try and navigate through it. It's the same file we used yesterday. So navigate yourself to section 1, which says clean. Section 1. In case yours is showing like this, please just scroll up. Navigate to section 1. When you are there, please drop a what should you drop now? Just drop a yes, which means I'm there. A no for okay, thank you. A no for I'm not there yet. Wait for me. Okay. All right. It seems we're there. All right. So let's continue. So now, very quickly. So if you look at this sheet we have now, it says section 1 clean. So who can quickly remind us what the clean function does? Adjust into one person. You can put it in the chat box so you can just unmute yourself. What does the clean function does? Okay, Dr. Samuel.
It removes unwanted characters.
Okay, thank you.
Non-printable, non-readable characters.
Okay, it removes non-printable, non-readable characters. Yes, that's correct. Now, everybody look at, okay. It says your manager has given you a table of raw data to perform analysis on. The data has been pulled from multiple sources and needs to be standardized prior to analysis. So this is the data, this product here. That's the data. So now everybody look at this data set. Look at this data. What do you think is wrong with this data? Something is definitely wrong with it. Abi, what do you think is wrong with it? You can drop your answer in the chat box. What do you think is wrong with that data set? There's something we don't want that is there. Is anybody trying to bail us out? There is something we don't want that is there. What is that thing?
Please, I'm not seeing your slide. I don't know if it is me alone.
Please, can any other person see my slide? No, I'm not using slide though. I'm using Excel
Okay.
file this time around. Can you see my screen at all? Mr. Oluwaseun, can you see?
Yes.
I can see the
Yeah.
Excel.
Yes, I can
Oh.
see it now.
Oh, okay, okay. It was probably your network or something. So please look at this data. What do you think is not right? Something is not in place here. Something is different from the rest. What it is? It's obvious. Oh. Who's going to bail us out? Should I call names?
Is it the coloring?
No, it's not the coloring.
Okay, we have repetition. There is
Well,
duplicates.
Yes.
do we have duplicates?
Yes, they're duplicates.
Yes.
Okay, Velcade.
Yes.
There is a symbol, or let me say
Yes.
something like a rectangle or something before each word.
Yeah, thank you, Tumishe. Tumishe said there's a symbol. Yeah, there's a rectangle here. Upside down rectangle. Don't forget, your clean function removes what? Non-printable or non-readable characters. And I already explained what non-printable characters are. They are symbols that you don't need. They are not this rectangle or whatever. It's not meant to be here. I know we have repetitions, yes, but as far as this data set is concerned, what we are concerned about is this symbol. So how do we remove this symbol? We use our clean function. Good. Let me quickly chip this in. Please, everybody note this. Anytime you are working on a data set, anytime you are being given a data set, don't work on that original data set. Make sure you duplicate that data set. Then you can change whatever you want to change on it. Reason being that you can always reference your original data sets later. Imagine me performing or working on my data set given by a client. I already did a lot of analysis on the original data set. And then I discovered there's something I did that I was not meant to do there. Will I now message my client again to send the data set again? No. Oh, of course, you can also do that. But no, anytime you're working on a data set, make sure you don't work on the original data set given to you. You save it as something else, then you can now do whatever you want to do on the data set. So yes, I just remembered I decided to chip that in. So we use our clean function. You just type in clean like this. Press enter. Now the next thing is the test. What test? You select the first cell and you press enter. Now the question, I think was it Bukumi that he asked the other time. You just all you have to do is drag down to apply the same thing to the other cells. That's cell referencing, if you still remember. So it will automatically remove all the non-printable characters present in your text. So let's quickly practicalize that. All right, I believe it should be done by now. So scroll down, you will see something here. I'm going to give us this as an assignment. So this is your assignment 1. Find the total of these values. This is your assignment 1. Find the total of these values. That's assignment 1. Find the total of these values. That's assignment 1. So let's go to the second sheet, section 2.
Sorry, sir, please. Sorry, sir,
All
please. Can you please come again with the clean, please?
Oh, okay.
Please.
It's quite simple. Just use apply your clean function, equal sign, clean, and you select the text. This is the text. This is what you want to clean. And that's all. And you press enter and you drag it down. You use your fill undo. And that's all. So automatically Excel will sense the non-printable characters and remove it by itself using the clean function. Do you understand now?
Yes.
Who asked? Okay, all right. So I said you should scroll down. You see a question there. Find the total of these values. Okay, let me just ask the house. These guys here, these numbers, is Excel seeing them as numbers or text? You can drop it to the chat box. These numbers, is Excel seeing them as a text or as numbers?
Text.
Text. Why?
Because they're located at the left corner of the row.
Thank you.
Ought to be at the right side.
Thank you. That's the answer. Which means before you can find the total, you need to convert them to numbers first. So that's our assignment. I've given us it, so it should be easy now. But don't do it now because, okay, don't let me tell us that. Let me leave us to it. We get it. So let's move to section 2. Trim. The same thing, your manager has given you a table of raw data to perform analysis on. Data has been pulled from multiple sources and needs to be standardized prior to analysis. So everybody look at this data set. What is off with this data set? I know a lot might be off, but okay, let me just say, don't worry. What is off with this data set? Just say your mind. What do you think is wrong somewhere?
I think
All right, go on, please. So
There
I
are
think,
there
okay,
are spaces in between the texts.
I want you to say there are extra spaces. Okay, that's number one. Or let me just go with that. Since this particular section is for trim, you are going to look at other whatever you have later. He said there are extra spaces. Yes, that's correct. If you look at parents, we have a lot of spaces between parent and 20 and others like that. What function do we use to remove that? We use the trim function. So I will apply my trim function. I will select the first text and press enter. And I will drag down. You will see that all extra spaces has been removed except one space. So let's quickly do that. All these functions are actually pretty straightforward to apply. Okay, I think we should be done by now. So let's move to the next one, which is the substitute. Scroll up, please. If yours is showing this, scroll up. Let's move to the substitute function. Hope everybody was able to get the trim function. Let's move to the substitute function. So now, good. I need everybody to participate. Or let's say, yes, I need everybody. Now look at this data set. Still the same, your manager has given you blah, 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 blah. So look at this data set. What do you think is off? What do you think is here that is not meant to be here? You feel it's not necessary, it's not meant to be here, it's not ideal. So look at those stores you feel is not meant to be here that are here. Who's going first? I want everybody to participate. I don't want to call names, so if you want to say something, you can kindly raise up your hand. Or you can drop it in the you can drop it in the chat box. So Dr. Samuel,
the double quotation mark in the first line.
okay, thank you. Double quotation mark. Double quotation mark. All right. That's number one. Who else has another thing? Oluwashaya, okay.
Extra spaces.
Extra spaces, thank you. Extra spaces. So what other thing do we think we have that is not meant to be in place? Our ladies are quiet today. What's happening? I need you guys to speak up. Oh. Abiola, is this your first time joining the class? Abiola Olowu, if I'm right. I think that's it. I think this is the first time I be seeing you. I'm not sure. Abiola Olowu, can you bail us out? What else do you think is wrong with the data set? Or are you shy to talk? You can always use the chat box anyway, in case you don't want us to hear your sweet voice. You can always use the chat box. All right, so not to waste our time, who else wants to go? Ogumbo Dede Bukola, can you help us out? Who else is there? Tumishe Oluwalade.
So I think that I think we have 3 to 5 milligram.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you for that.
I,
So you feel it's not meant to be like that, Abby?
yes.
Why?
It's supposed to be like around maybe 35 milligram.
Okay.
Looking at the milligrams that are there, we have 5 milligram, 20 milligram, 54, 54 milligram, So I just feel that 3 to 5 milligrams supposed to be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're absolutely correct.
Okay.
So those that are familiar with drugs, there's no 3 to 5 milligram or whatever. The whatever is always specific. The weight is always specific. It's always been specified. They don't have a range. Yes, let me put it that way. There's no range. They will tell you if it's 35 or 3 milligram. There's no in between something. So is either it's 35 milligram or 3.5 milligram. You can still have 3.5. Is that of the two? Wow, you guys are making me proud. I like that. Double quotation, extra spaces. There's still one more thing. There's still one more thing. There's still one more thing. But we might not, well, we might feel it's meant to be there. But let me see if someone can guess. There's still one more thing. Who wants to try? Does anybody want to try? All right, so you've all tried. So let me just say the last thing. This pro in between graph, well, you might think it's meant to be there, but let's assume it's not meant to be there. This pro between this hyphen between graph and prohibit, let's assume they are not meant to be there. So the third thing is hyphen in prohibit and graph. All right. All right. But very quickly, let me quickly explain. Because now, as you must have seen, I'm going to be combining a lot of functions, right? Because I have double quote for substitute, extra spaces as string. All these guys substitute. So let me quickly let me apply the substitute function first, just to show us how the substitute function works. So by the time I'll be combining them, we won't be confused. So let me start with the quotation. Mind you, I just want to use this to explain substitute function first before I treat all these four guys. So I will type my substitute function. The text is what? The first cell I want to edit. Now, what do I want to remove? I want to remove this double quotation. I want to remove this double quotation. I want to remove this double quotation. So now, I don't know if I mentioned this. In Excel, always follow what the formula is giving you. Now, everybody, if you type substitute, you will see text, old text, new text, instance number. Always follow what Excel is giving you. It will guide you. There's no need to cram anything here. Just follow it up. Now, the next thing is test. Test means where do you want to substitute from? I want to substitute from this place. So I will select this. The old test means what do you want to replace? I want to replace what? Double quote. But don't forget, this might be a little bit funny. Now, if I want to replace, don't forget I said any character that you want to use in your substitute, they have to be in double quotes. Now, this time around, I want to remove double quotes. Please, how many double quotes will I have? Please just drop in the chat box. How many double quotes will I use this time around? I want to remove double quotes. And I have to put double quotes inside double quotes. How many double quotes will I have?
3.
Someone said 3. Do you agree with that?
4.
Okay, someone said 4. Does anybody have any contrary opinion to what we have on ground? Or you want to support anyone? So someone said 3, someone said 4. It's actually 4. So you know what you want to remove is double quotes. Now, open quotes is different from close quotes. So I think that should answer our question. Open quotes is different from close quotes. So I have this is the open quote first. This is the quotation I want to put it inside. Then this is what I want to remove. The open quote and the close quote. Then I close it again. So we are using 4 quotations. I want to remove 2. The first quotation here and this last one. And I have to put that 2 inside another double quote. So that's why we have 4. Now, don't forget, I want to remove it. I said if you want to remove something in the text, what do? Your new text will be what? Empty quote. There's a difference between this and this. There's a space. Space is also a character. But we make sure there's nothing in between the double quotes. Then I close it and press. The next thing is instance number. Do I need instance number? No. Because I'm removing all the double quotation there. So I will close it and press enter. You see that the double quotation has been applied. Then you can drag down. Now, does anybody have any question? Please, this is time to ask a question. Concerning substitute, do you understand? If you understand, please drop a yes. If you don't, drop a no, so I can take it again. Because I'm about to next our, okay, you have a hand raised. You don't understand?
No, I understand. But when you dragged it down, right?
Yeah.
So we haven't worked on the other roles.
You said we've not worked on the other rules.
Yes, like when you dragged it down, the other ones still remain the same.
Yes, why do they remain the same? Because there's no double quotation in other ones.
Okay.
Exactly. So that's why they remain the same. And maybe you're saying, you know, you've not applied. The only function we've applied now is remove substitute, remove double quotation. We've not done extra spacing and the likes.
Not on the lines.
Yes. So now let's delete. This one is just to show us how to use substitute function. Now I can delete it. Now I want to combine all these 4 problems together.
Yes.
I want to combine all these 4 problems together now. Now, the first function I'm going to use, you said double quotation mark, extra spaces. I'm going to start with the extra spaces. You can start with anyone you like, but you have to be, let me see. Yes, you can start with anyone you like. But me, I would like to start with the trim function. So I will say trim. Please, everybody pay attention. I will say trim. I will enter this. Enter. I will drag down. Every extra spaces has been removed. So this one has been sorted. Let me put a green, which means it has been solved. Now, the next thing is let's remove the double quotation mark. Let us remove the double quotation mark. Now, this is where nesting comes in. What is nesting? Nesting means, I already explained nesting to us anyway. I said nesting means using 2 or more functions in a particular formula. Now I'm about to combine different functions together. What function will I use to remove my double quotation? That's what I removed the other time now. That's substitute, right? Now, anytime you want to nest in Excel, any formula you want to add to it, you always go before the initial formula. The first formula here is trim, right? I will go before trim, which means I'm saying whatsoever I've done, whatsoever trim B13 means will do this particular thing I'm about to do to trim B13, which means anything I'm going to apply, we have effect on these guys, not on this guy again. This is now my new text, not on this guy. This is now my new text. So I'm saying after removing extra spaces, you do this thing to it. Which is why, don't forget, I'm not clicking on this now. I'm clicking on this formula I've written before. So I will go to my formula bar, or you can just double click on this. Go before that trim function. Anytime you are nesting in Excel and you have a function written already, go before that function to add any new function you want to add to it. So I will say substitute. Now don't forget substitute as text, old text, new text, and instance. For the text now, I won't come here to pick this one as my text too. No, your text is now trim B13 that you calculated earlier. So after that, I'll put a comma. What's the old text I want to remove? I already explained earlier. That's a double quote. That's 4 times Abi. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to replace it with what? Empty set. That's 1, 2. Do I need instance number? No. So I will close my bracket. Enter. Then I will drag down. Me dragging down means I want to apply anything I apply here. I want it to apply to the other ones. Even if there's no double quotes in other ones or whatever I'm applying won't stick, you won't have any effect on the rest. Just apply it. So you apply it to everything, unless maybe there's no need for you to apply it. You apply it to everything. Do you understand? Please drop a yes for I understand and a no for I don't understand.
I was doing the same thing you did, but mine just showed the error message, a hashtag name, question mark.
Hashtag name question mark. What can you call out your formula?
So my formula is equals to substitute, open bracket, trim, open bracket, B13, close bracket, comma, 4 double quotes, comma, 2 double quotes, close the bracket, and enter.
Can you share your screen?
I think he said 13 instead of B13. Abi?
Oh, did you say 13?
B13. I have B13. Because I clicked
Okay.
Yeah. Give me a second. Let me. Because I'm joining from another computer. So let me join from the computer I'm using to work.
Oh, okay. Awesome. What error did you say you're having again, please?
Hashtag name.
Hashtag name. Put your cursor on it. What's the error saying?
Okay, I'm sharing my screen now.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking forward to share screen using this Google Meet.
You will see there's an arrow. There's an
Okay.
arrow inside the square or something.
Can you see my screen?
Oh, yes, I can see your screen. All right, can you increase the font size, please? Can you increase the view?
Do you see my screen?
I can see your screen. Just increase the view. Increase it from 100%. Just zoom it in. Okay, don't worry. I'm already zooming it from here. Okay. Substitute. Now look at your substitute. Your substitute is not correct. Now that's why I said always choose the one Excel brings out for you. Don't relent on the one you type.
Yes.
So by the time you choose the one Excel brought out for you still have tilt, so you have to remove that tilt. So by the time you bring the one Excel the one Excel displays for you, it will be easier that way. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah. All right. So I think others said yes. All right. Thank you. Okay. Now we've fitted the double quotation. I'm sure we've done these ones. All right. Now let's look at these two remaining. Tumishe said this 3 to 5 should be replaced with
You are not
35.
sharing your screen.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was. Thank you. All right. So Tumishe said this 3 to 5 should be 35. And I also said it can also be 3.5. So this is what is going to happen. Me, I will do that of 35. I will change it to 35. We will do that together in class. Then you will change it to 3.5 as assignment. Now I want you to notice something. If you look at this and this hyphen prohibit and hyphen in this, it's the same hyphen, which means if I substitute hyphen and I drag it down, this hyphen will be removed at the same time, right? This is what I'm saying. So me, I want to change it to 35. That's another substitute. Of course, which means you can have more than one substitute in a particular formula. Yes. So I will introduce another substitute, which will be before, of course, the initial substitute, in which substitute string B13, whatsoever was there before will become your text. So I have a comma. What's the old text I'm removing? Hyphen, but don't forget it has to be inside double quotes. I'm replacing it with what? Empty set. Enter. Now look at something. By the time I drag down, the hyphen here also has been replaced. So that's what we call using one stone to kill two birds, right? So everything has been solved. Now this is what I'm now giving you as assignments. If I say you should, I've done out of 35, I'm saying you should do 3.5. That means what? Okay, let me even throw the question to the house. How are you going to do this 3.5? Can somebody quickly answer that? Oh yeah, now. How can I go about changing 3-5 to 3.5?
So add another substitute.
Yes.
Then comma, closed bracket, comma. Are you doing it? Or I should just
you want me to do it now? Okay. I just want you to say it because I want you to do it as an assignment.
Okay.
Comma.
Oh,
don't worry. Sorry. Just say it.
Okay.
There's a reason I want you to say it. So
Okay.
substitutes, comma, yes.
Close bracket, comma, double quotes the 3-3-5, no, the 35
Okay,
mg.
now I'm getting. The wait, it's like this. I'm coming. Now let's assume. Don't forget your own is okay. Don't get it mixed up. Oh. Your own assignment is this one. I just replaced with 35. Replace it with 3.5. So which means what I did earlier, I'm going to remove it. That's what you are going to do. So your work should be like this. By the time you want to do it, your work should be like this. So if you want to do this assignment, you have to remove that 35 that I did first. Then you do it. So now, continue. So now you start afresh like this. How do I now change it to 3.5? Dr. Samuel.
Yeah, I'm confused now.
Don't be confused now.
Okay,
Because
substitute,
okay,
right?
yeah.
Substitute, then close bracket.
No, I'm not closing brackets yet.
Okay, yeah, the bracket is already closed, comma, double quotes and dots inside the double quotes.
Are you
No,
sure it's not?
no. The dash hyphen in double quotes, right?
Yeah.
Then close the quote, then comma, then have you want to substitute it, have your double quotes and your dots inside the double quotes.
Okay, fantastic.
Then close.
Now, can you see something? This is where the trick comes in. You will see that this hyphen between pro and graph.
Let's don't do that.
So that's what I'm giving as
That-
an assignment. So you have to
Okay.
find a way to do it such that you will remove the hyphen in this pro and graph and remove the hyphen here to the dot. And I know, see, before you do this thing for me, oftentimes this assignment, some persons will use a different formula here. Come to this place, use another formula. Don't do that for me. Any formula you are applying, you must apply it at the first cell and you must drag it down. It will apply to all the cells. So you must look for something that when you apply to this first cell and you drag down, this hyphen will be removed and this hyphen here will be replaced with dots. So that's the assignment. Hope everybody got the assignment right. So that's the assignment. That's assignment number 2. I hope you are noting it. This is assignment number 1. This is assignment number 2. Okay, let me give us classwork. I wanted to give us this as assignment before. Problem 3B. Hope everybody understood the assignment first. Okay, no hand is raised. I know whatever in the chat is right. I'm going to assume you understand it. So everybody scroll down to problem 3B. This is as a classwork. Now, the first thing is tackling questions or tackling whatever in data analysis. You have to understand the question first. If you don't understand the question, you won't know what to do. So read the question first. Make sure you understand the question. Then answer the question. I'll give us 10 minutes to do that. So make sure you understand the question. Then tackle the question. I'll give us 10 minutes to do that. So in case you're done within the 10 minutes, you can have a short break for yourself. So when is 8:32, I'll be back.
Are you back? We cannot hear you. I think you're muted or something.
He gave 10 minutes for everyone to do the classwork. That's why he's not talking, I guess.
His cursor is moving. Okay, but thank you, Palumi.
Oh, sorry. Did I miss something?
No, I thought you were saying something and you were muted. Sorry, never mind.
No, I was not. Sorry.
I'm done.
Okay, let's give others more time. And also, you can use this time to stretch your leg. When it's so it's 32, we're going to continue. Okay, so are we done? Everybody should be done by now. Yeah, definitely. So who's going to tell us the answer? Okay. I can see. Mary, you want to help us out? Or is that not you? Okay, I have Balumi hand raised. Our ladies are quiet today, except Tumishe. All right, Balumi, let's have you.
Okay. The question says the sales data should be replicated. Okay, but the only difference is the year will be 2015 and 2016. Okay. The quarters, that's the first, second, third, fourth quarter of it. So I use the substitute function, and
Wait, please explain the question again. I want you to explain the question.
we have to create a table. Okay, there's a data already, sales data that was
Okay.
created for 2013 and 2014. So the question says the data should be replicated, but now it should be for the sales data for the which should be for 2015 and 2016. But it won't be sales data now, it should now be cost data. So the only thing I just did is just
Sorry,
substitute
you said. Wait, let me read it. Sorry, it won't be sales data, it's going to be cost data.
yes.
No, where did you see cost data from?
You have to create a table for 2015 cost data.
Oh, is that? Oh, you've been tasked to create a table for. Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you. I
Yeah.
omitted the cost data.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So I'll name that cost data. Then yes, cost data.
All right.
So I'll use my substitute function.
Okay.
Substitute. I'll click on my B42. I'll put
Okay.
comma. Then I'll use my two quotes, double
Don't
quotes.
forget, I said if you are dealing with numbers, it's not important to put double quotes.
Okay, but I did put and it works.
Well, you can put, yeah, of course it's going to work. It's going
Okay.
to work. I'm just saying you can do without it. So let me just
Okay.
show us, so I won't use it.
Okay. So I replace the 2013 with 2015.
Okay.
And I drag it down to 45 to B45. That's where the fourth quarter ends. No,
Is
no,
that
no,
you
not
to see for
yes.
all right. So you now wrote another formula here again.
Yes, to just yes. For
So
20.
what if you have 2,000 rows and you don't even know where 2013 stops?
Then I'll replace after I replace my 2013 with 2015, I'll replace my 2014 with 2016.
So that means you have to scroll till, even if it's 1 million rows, you keep on
No, I
scrolling.
will not scroll. I will just a single line of code. I'll write it and I'll replace. I'll do my double click, drop down,
Good.
like to fill up the whole time.
It is that single line of code I want you to do.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. Then comma. I'll continue like that.
No, you cannot continue. You want me to put a comma now after this?
No, you are still going to, after 2015, I want to continue.
After 2015, I put the comma. The next thing is instance number. Hope you know
Oh,
that. Exactly.
I'm not seeing the IntelliSense, so I don't know what's
On my own screen, right?
yeah, I'm not seeing the IntelliSense.
Yeah, you can't say it. It's like it's seen as another window entirely. So you have to look at your own as you are saying. So in this case, what do we do?
Okay, after my old test, after the 2013,
Yes.
then I'll write the second one for 2014. Then my new test will occupy the substitute number for the 13
So
and
which
14.
means I nest it with another substitute function, right?
Yes.
Okay, so continue. I already have a comma as the old test, as you can see. So what do I write next?
So this is 2014 now.
Okay, this time let me put it in double quotes. Yes.
2014, comma 2016. Then I'll close my brackets. How many brackets open? Okay, just 2 open. I'll hit enter.
All right. So that's how to go about it. Hope we all got that. I'm sure majority of us might have used his approach. Or was there anybody that used this particular approach?
I did the double substitute.
Oh, okay, that's nice. All right then. Let's move to the next function. That's section 4. That's the value function. Please scroll up. That's the value function. Do you still remember the value function? Who can quickly remind us what does the value function does? What's the function of value function? Or what's the uses of value function? Okay, is that a hand raised?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it actually converts a text that represents a number into a number.
Okay, thank you. He says it converts a text that represents a number into a number. So now look at this. Reported, still the same, your manager has blah, 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 standardized power. Good. Reported quantity is not seen as a number, right? Or they are not seen as numbers, right? Yes. Why? You don't know. But you see that there's this green something here that it is showing. There's a green something here. Isaiah is telling you there's an error there that we cannot see it. So put your cursor here. Put your cursor on this error. It says, please, you have to put your cursor there so you can see it from your side. It says the number in this cell is formatted. Meanwhile, don't click on it too. If you click on it, it's going to bring out number stored as text, convert to number, help on this arrow. No. Don't click on the sign on this arrow. Just put your cursor on it. When you put your cursor on it, you will see something like the number in this cell is formatted as text or preceded by an apostrophe. Actually, this thing should be the number in this text is formatted as text, thereby preceded by an apostrophe. So it's telling us there's an apostrophe that we cannot see, but Excel can see it. There's an apostrophe there, we cannot see it, but Excel can see it. So what do? There are 2 methods. You see that I have a column for using value, and I have a column for using text to columns. So I can either use value or text to columns for it. So if I'm going to use value, what will I do? I'll use my equal sign, value, and select this text. Enter and drag down. You will see that it has been removed. That's the first approach. Just use the value function, select this text and drag down. Now everybody pay attention to this. Let me give us, are we done with this? Because this second approach, I need us to do it with me so you can see, because my dialog box will not display. And we have 3 steps. So I want each and every one of us to do it with me. I hope you are jotting down some of these steps that you might easily forget. Although I know we have videos to reference to, but it's also advisable to jot down. So, all right, using tests to columns. Text to columns is not a function. It's like it's a process. It's a procedure you have to follow. It's not a function. So using text to column, the first step is you select the range of values that you want to print, that you want to convert to value. You select the range of values first. That's number 1, like this. Under data, look at your ribbon tab. You will see data there. You have file, home, insert, page layout, formulas, data. Under data, you will see text to columns. Under data, you will see text to columns. Click on text to columns. I hope everybody is going with me. Don't forget, the first thing is you select the range of values you want to convert to values. Under your ribbon tab, you will see data. Click on data. You will see text to columns under data at your right-hand side. Now click on it.
Where's the text to column? Can you show it on the screen again?
Can you see it? Can you see my cursor?
Yes.
So click on text to columns. Now we have 3 steps. The first step is, okay, good. Let me quickly explain delimiters. Yeah. Let me explain delimiters. What are delimiters? Delimiters are characters that they are found alongside with your numbers. Delimiters are characters that are found with your numbers. Now, these characters might be space, colon, semicolon, hyphen, exclamation mark, apostrophe, whatsoever it is. But they are found within numbers that they are not meant to be there. Those are delimiters. Those are delimiters. So if you look at it, say the text wizard has determined your data type is delimited. Yes. Delimited in such a way that there's a delimiter found there. What's the delimiter this time around? Apostrophe. So we have delimited and fixed width. It's delimited, it's not fixed width. So you select the delimiter, is already selected for you. You press next. So the next take you to the step 2. The step 2 is you already identified that a delimiter is there. Now the text 2 is, what is the delimiter exactly? You will see tab, semicolon, comma, space, order. What's our delimiter? Our delimiter is apostrophe. Apostrophe is not here, so you want select tab and you select order. Hope you are going with me. You want select tab and you select order. And you put, now you don't type under order, you won't type apostrophe, you put the symbol of apostrophe. Do we all know the symbol of apostrophe? Apostrophe is
Yes.
a single quote. Sorry, you said so. You said what?
Yes. I said yes.
Yes, good. Apostrophe is a single quote. So you press next. So the next place helps you to choose the data format you want. Leave it in general. Let's say it's date you are dealing with, you select date, but leave it in general. But underneath, you will see destination. Now, destination means where do you want your new data set to be pasted to? Now, please look at this destination. At the end of the rectangle, you see an arrow pointing upward. Click on that arrow. After clicking on that arrow, your box will be reduced. Can you see my cursor? Now, I want it to be pasted here. If you look at this place, the original data set, you will see that something is like as though the first cell is selected. Now, click on this first cell. The first cell under using text to column, click on it like this. That same arrow you clicked, click it back. I hope you, I don't think I see my cursor. Click that arrow back, then click on finish. I just hope we got that. That's a lot. Someone had this wrist. Oh yeah, all right. What do you have to say? Are you lost? Oluwaseyo Fadigba, please, are you lost? Mr. Oluwaseyo Fadigba, are you lost?
No, 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 no. I
Oh, it
got
was a
it.
mistake. Oh, okay, thank you. That means we all got it. Wow, that's nice. So now let's assume I want it to, the new data set is now here. Let's assume I want it to remain here. What do I do? Still under text to columns. Next. When you get to destination, I won't change anything under destination. I will just click on finish. Can you see the difference? You see that everything is being changed under the initial data set. Now you might want to ask me, where is this 38 from? Now, before I did the conversion, you see that there's a dash here. If you put your cursor there, there's a formula there. But it's not going to work because these numbers are not seen as numbers. They are seen as text. And you know you can apply all these arithmetical functions to text. So that's why it will not work. But by the time I now convert it, automatically the formula will come to effect. It will apply by itself automatically. That's why we have to create. Any question? Any question? Any question? Do you have any question?
Hello, sir.
Yes. Go ahead.
Sorry, I want to ask a question, but it's not on this. It's on the classwork you gave us.
Okay.
So sorry for dragging us back. So when we were changing the 2014 to 2016, you
Yes.
added quotation mark to it.
Not exactly. I added quotation to the second one. Okay, 2014, 2016. Yes, I did.
Can you tell me the reason why?
I was just trying to show you it works with or without quotation. Numbers within your formula works with or without
Yeah.
quotation mark. So if I remove it, it still works regardless.
Okay.
So that, because I discovered some of you use quotation. So I was just trying to show you either you use it or not, it still works.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. So no question concerning what we just did then. That's great. So now move to practice exercise. That's your assignment. Practice exercise is your assignment against next week start. Is your assignment against next week Saturday. Please read the question. Make sure you understand the question. And then give them the appropriate answers. So now we have how many assignments? 3 assignments. The first assignment is this clean function. This one over here. Find the total of these values. That's the first assignment. The second one is under your substitutes. Change the, let me highlight it. The one with the red. 3.5 should be 3-5. That is 3 to 5 should be 3.5. That's the assignment. That's the second assignment. Now the fourth assignment is this practice exercise. Make sure you understand the question first. Data below contains blah, 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 blah. Try and understand the question before providing the answers to it. So next week, we're going to be moving into index match. index function, match function, and VLOOKUP function. Should, in case you want to read ahead, that's good. I'm going to type them down. Index function, match function, VLOOKUP. You also have HLOOKUP, but it's also similar to VLOOKUP. So you can read this against next class. So next class, I'm going to teach you, we're going to be diving into data modeling. We're going into data modeling for the next class. Data modeling, so you can read these functions ahead: VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, match function, index function. We also have XLOOKUP. But actually, all these VLOOKUP, HLOOKUPs, they are similar. So we might just be treating just VLOOKUP. We can just read on them. So in the absence of no question, this comes to the end of the class. Please do want to go through what we've done. Although there are assignments that's going to guide us. So even if you don't want to go through it, the assignment will help you to force you to go through them. So do your assignments, please. Next week, oftentimes it's the same persons that say they did the assignment that always respond. Because I want each and every one of us to do our assignment this time around. I want each and every one of us to do our assignment this time around, please. Each and every one I can call on anybody to make correction to the assignment. Anybody at all. So that's the end of the class. Thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you for answering me when I needed you to. Thank you so much. So we'll see you next week. Enjoy your week. Do have a lovely week. You're welcome. Oluwaseun Fadiga.